You were born in Albania.
That's right. That's right.
So tell me about your early life there in Albania. What was it like?
We had approximately 15 families. Everybody had a bit of the properties. There was no such thing as paying for things because there was the gypsies would come down once a month loaded with stuff they'd come down and we would save money for that purpose. But we also had my dad live, he's in the United States. Did you know that?
No, tell me.
Oh, yeah, he was in the United States. He was a baker by trade.
Okay.
And he sent for us, and it was Terry, my mother, and I. My mother's father, he lived in the next, he'd always come over once a week by horseback.
Ah,
Yeah, oh, we didn't have any cars there.
sure.
We did it in the upper part of Albania. They had cars, but they didn't have them where we were. So before my dad left for the United States, he had about 6 of his buddies that they didn't want to leave Albania until they built a church for the people that were there.
Mm-hmm.
And the church is, by the way, still standing because, it's still standing. I got a picture of it at home.
What drew your dad to the United States? Did he have family already here?
He did have a family here, but one of them had a bakery, and he's a baker by trade, painter by. It was just my mother, I, and Van. That was in Albania.
Right.
We always write to my dad. He write to us. I never was able to figure, and I never asked why he went alone. But I found out he didn't go alone. He had some other fellows from the Tirana, Tirana was the capital city. When we came here, we were in New York City. As soon as we got off the boat, my dad was out there to take us there. They took us. There was an apartment. Had about, I'd say 10, 15 families living in it. And my dad had an apartment there. He had 2 bedrooms. Of course, when my mother came, when we came, it was him and my mom and one, and the other guys weren't around. It was strictly our own family. What was my dad doing? He and a Greek were running a bakery. He was a baker. And so we were pretty well for bread and baklava and stuff like that. You know, you could probably, there's a lot of people in Jamestown that know how to make that stuff.
I know how to eat it.
The first thing he did is he got us some clothes to wear, knickers, and he took us to register us for school.
Had you been in school in Albania, Komo?
No,
No, so
No.
you didn't go to school till you got to America.
right,
Okay.
right. So we went to the principal's office, and of course I couldn't speak English. My dad would speak for me. Everybody that came to that school had to go through his office. That was just like so you, being the principal, would know everybody for sure, and no one could leave the building. Like here they can walk out anytime they want, but that's the way they handled their educational system. He and I would play we'd go up the same building where we lived, up in the attic. From the attic, the door you open up, and there's enough room there where you could play catch. Or we had our hats, you know. We didn't have a bat or anything like that, but we'd play catch. And so when we wanted to do something, and we didn't want to go down out where there was all these cars and everything, you know, and it was too much. So evidently my dad must have talked to, by mail, talked to people that were in Jamestown, just like we were before we went to New York. And they worked it out so that's me. He told the family, New York City is not for you. My kids aren't going to be in this city. We're going to go back to Albania, place where he knew he had a job, number one.
So you found your way at some point to Jamestown. Was there an Albanian group here already?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We did. From New York City, we moved to Jamestown.
Okay. And your dad was a baker here in Jamestown?
Yeah, no. Well, yes, he was to a degree.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then you got into the Jamestown school system then?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And I know still to this day there's an Albanian Orthodox church.
Yeah.
It's in Palmer Street?
Well, we went to Greek Orthodox until they told us we could move into the other one,
Okay.
Albanian on Spray Street.
When you came to Jamestown, where did you live?
That's a good question. Let's see. The first place we lived in Jamestown was on William Street.
Okay.
You know where William Street is?
I do.
Okay.
Up by the church.
Huh?
Up by your church.
Yeah. I don't know, but I do know one thing. I was altar boy at the Albanian church. And I stayed I was only almost 7 years old, almost. So during that time, they had one minister, and he stayed at that church for a long time, I'll tell you.
What grade school did you go to, Komo?
I know Charles Street School was nearby.
Yes,
Did you go there?
yes, I went there. I went through the principal's office and out the back way. I wish I could remember her name.
Well, she knows your name, that's for sure.
You've talked to her?
So you went to Charles School,
Yeah.
and then junior high school at the time, you would have gone to what, Lincoln,
Lincoln Junior High,
right,
and then the high school.
in the high school. Did you,
Right there, right there.
what class is that?
1949,
That's right.
class of 49.
That's right.
Did you get involved in athletics there in the high school? Were you in track or baseball or basketball, football, any of those sports you did?
Yeah, basketball.
Basketball?
Yeah, it was basketball.
Do you remember who your coach was for the basketball team?
Raleigh Taft.
Raleigh Taft. There's a name from the past.
Yeah.
Well, here's what we found out about you, Komo.
Okay.
In 1945 and 50, you played with the Springhorn basketball team in the YMCA League.
That's right.
And you were also on the Chautauqua County American Legion championship team in 1947, and was played in Ellington when it won the county league title in 1948.
How about the guy down Veneer and Plywood?
Well, let's go 1 year later. Komo played for Thule Lodge in the Jamestown Veneer and Plywood in the Muni AA Baseball League, and played for Joe Nagel in the
Right.
Steel Partitions.
Right.
So tell me about the Steel Partitions. Most people had to work there to be playing for them.
Well, what can I say? They were the best team around.
Yeah.
With Joe Nagel, good man. He knew baseball. Well, what can I say about him?
Well, what position did you play?
Catcher.
You were a catcher for the Steel Partition. Do you remember how they...
Bob Frito was their main man.
Yeah, Bob Frito.
Yeah, he was their main man. But we alternated. We alternated. He didn't like that. He wanted his own position, not dealt with anybody else. But the Nagel was the type of a guy that he was trying to build the sport.
So, how many years did you play with the Steel Partition?
I think I was with him. On and off, because I wasn't permanent.
Okay.
On and off about 4 years.
And you guys had successes, though. Did you travel with the Steel Partition?
Yes. I did travel. Mostly in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, in high school, you played for the JHS basketball team 1947 to 49. During their senior year, 1949, the Red Raiders claimed a Section 6 title.
Yes,
And then you enrolled at University of Illinois.
that's right.
Yeah, I'm reading here where you went to University of Illinois and you earned letters in freshman football and baseball there. And then you get a letter from the Army. Greetings.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you remember getting that letter?
Yeah, you must have talked to Terry.
No, I got it right here. So you get a letter from,
But somebody who gave you that information.
I don't know.
This is on your Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame website that we have. This is your biography that's on the website. I made a copy for you, Coach.
Oh,
You can
beautiful.
read about it later.
Beautiful, beautiful.
When you went in the Army, Coach, when you went in the Army, did you get drafted or did you enlist?
Oh, I got drafted.
and then where did you go to boot camp, Coach? Was it Camp Kilmer?
Yes.
So that's in New Jersey.
That guy must have been, pardon?
That's in New Jersey, Camp Kilmer.
Yeah.
And you were in boot camp for a while, and so and while you're in the Army, did they train you to be a certain specialist at all?
Medic.
Oh, medic. You
Okay.
were a medic.
Medic. Yeah.
And then, did you know at some point that you would go off to Korea?
No, I did not.
So when that happened and you're at camp trained as a medic, and they say, hey, you're going to Korea, how did that happen?
Oh, you can't just go to Korea. You go basic training.
Basic,
Camp Kentucky, down in Kentucky.
got it?
From Kentucky,
Yeah, it says you're in the 3rd Infantry Division
that's right.
and in Korea, and that you had gone to Camp Kilmer,
That's right. Camp
And-
Kilmer, that's right. That's in New Jersey.
right? And then also you talked about you had earned recognition in Korea by receiving the Bronze Star
Yeah.
and the Presidential Citation in 1954, and the U.S. Service Medal, a National Defense Service Medal, and a Korean Service Medal.
Yes.
So-
And I've got about 3-4 of those at home, and they were stolen.
Oh, golly.
We got a little thing like that. I still got a few other things that are in there.
As a medic, I'm envisioning you like a MASH unit.
Yes, yes, yes. I was a medic, and it was a tank crew that got me. They tell you it was a tank,
No,
5 guys to a tank,
okay.
plus me. But I was had about 10 tank. I think I had 10 tanks in our outfit. I'm almost sure it was 10. You might say, well, what did you do? What did I do? I was available if something should happen. We were up in practically the mountains,
Yep.
but they were above us. The Koreans were above us.
Right.
They had low areas down here. I'll tell you something that'll make you laugh. We're pretty close to their units, and there wasn't fighting going on every day. We were in the lower area. They were in the upper area. And we used to catch hell every day. Had to have our guards out there, and nobody would sleep. We'd really go after them. But one humorous thing. When things are slow, nobody's picking on you. The guys that play cards, love to play cards. But in playing, they have to. We put our guards to watch for the goons.
Yeah.
They play cards. Where would they play? Well, the whole union didn't play. Just certain guys. You know how tanks are? You got your tanks, treads this way.
Sure.
And then you got your above. Got an open area on either side. Your 50 caliber up here. They play, depending upon how many units you're gonna play.
I got it. Wait. Sorry. Yep, you're in the middle of a card game.
Yeah. Our guys also had their guards. One day they holler, "They're coming!" And so our guys were on the plane. There's about 3 tanks at that place. They threw theirs away. They got picked the rifles. And, they got ready. Well, unbelievable. You probably laugh. We didn't play cards for quite a while after that. We didn't lose any men, though. We didn't. They weren't good soldiers.
Was there a fear factor, Komo? You're there, you're towards the front line. I mean, you're the medic, you're in charge of making sure if there's some incident among the troops. Was there concern?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but we had a good outfit. They knew what the hell the war was. They had been there for quite a while. I was new. I had to. Took me a long time to get close to certain ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes. Yeah.
What was the feeling among the troops? Because it was politically an unpopular war. Did that filter down to the troops at all? Did you guys talk about the politics of it all? Of the war?
I guess with any organization, there's always some kind of battering back and forth. There's a lot of envy within groups.
How long were you there for? Just in Korea?
I can't tell you exactly, but I was old enough and had been over there enough time to rotate. I don't know how long that takes.
Well, it says that you were the 3rd Infantry Division baseball champions in Korea.
We were, but we were playing out in the damn swamp. And I told you before, there was mountains, and they'd be up on the mountains, but we were down in the swampy area. Yeah. Yeah, we play amongst ourselves. Who the hell are you going to get the schedule?
You never had a time where you were playing a game and the sirens went off or anything like that?
No.
So then, after 1955, you come back to Illinois, right?
That's right.
And then you graduate from Illinois. This goes on to say you played varsity baseball in 1955 in Illinois.
That's right.
And then
And as I got a bit of taste in my mouth of that, Lee Albrecht, he was the coach at that time. And he was something else. He had his team selected, and whether they were any good or not, they played. So at first I didn't get enough play time. So I said to myself, why waste your time? Now, I'm surprised that I did think that way at that time, because they would think that you're trying to get away from the fighting zones, you know, the areas. So I didn't take a liking to the coach, and that was terrible. And I learned a lesson, though. I learned a lesson that when I went into coaching, you like all the kids. All the kids are your buddy. And if one was abusing the privilege, I'd take him aside and we would talk. But I wouldn't do it without talking.
good lesson.
Wally I can't remember his name. He asked me who our coach was when I was in high school, and I could tell him that. Evidently, he knew him when he was going through school. I don't know, but anyway, I kept my meal job, and they knew it. There was other guys on the team that had a meal job, so we'd be dismissed earlier for practices and stuff.
So you graduate from Illinois, and Komo Tane started his career as an elementary phys ed teacher at Fairmont,
That's where I started.
Fletcher, and Love School from 56 to 58. And then from there, 58 to 76, phys ed and health teacher at Washington Junior High School,
Yeah,
as well as its coach in basketball, football, and track.
right.
And I remember, because I was played at Jefferson during that time period.
Were you?
'Cause we played Washington all the time and with Coach Briggy.
Did we beat you?
Yeah, well, let me tell you how much you beat us. Yeah, during that 10-year span, this is my time period, Washington produced 7 undefeated track teams,
That's right.
3 undefeated basketball
Track.
squads,
Woo.
and 2 undefeated football teams. And one of them was during our time period when I was at Jefferson.
Yeah.
Nobody liked to play you guys.
No.
I think you were recruiting people. I don't know if they were.
Who is the real friend that turned all that in?
I don't know. We'll find out later. So finally, thank God for Jefferson, from 67 to 69, you became an administrative assistant to federal projects.
I didn't go to Jefferson.
No. You were beating us so bad.
Oh.
No, Jefferson was happy you were gone.
Oh.
They didn't want you there anymore. I remember those Bernie Jones days. I remember those days when you guys were loaded. Jim Colby, those kind of guys.
Jim, super guy.
Yeah. And from 67 to 69, You were an administrative assistant to federal projects,
Right,
head of elementary and secondary phys ed department. And
right.
in '69, when I was in high school at the time, you took over as director of health, phys ed, recreation, and interscholastic sports in the Jamestown
That's
school
right.
system until 1986. And some of the highlights.
That's terrific, that aspect of it.
During your time,
Super guys.
you developed a curriculum for phys ed for boys and girls,
That's damn right.
kindergarten
They
through 12th
didn't have
grade.
anything.
Yeah.
They do what they want to do.
So you created some structure for boys wrestling, girls basketball, swimming, track, volleyball, and softball, boys hockey, and co-ed soccer. You did stuff that nobody else was doing. You were a pioneer in that whole area.
Yeah, I get a little bit of itch.
So before there was a Title VI, there was Komo Tane.
Well, yes, if you've there, they never thought you were doing anything good. You don't realize that until you're through. And like right now, you guys all, I just kept my mouth shut and just did what I hoped I could do, and they gave me the opportunity to do it.
And here they went on to say, and this, one of your greatest accomplishments was getting Jamestown into a league, the Erie County
Yes.
Scholastic Conference,
Yeah.
with schools of comparable
You guys
size.
must have been, you guys must have been in that time zone.
Well, let me tell you, when I was playing football with Coach Nunes, we were playing Warren and Corey,
Yeah.
schools that were not comparable size.
Right.
And it was a little bit controversial at the time because those were long-standing rivalries.
Yeah.
I mean, Jamestown, Warren, Jamestown, Warren, Jamestown. And then all of a sudden, you led the charge to go, let's play some of the Buffalo schools,
Yeah.
some of the Erie schools even of equal size, and which has proved to be incredibly beneficial.
Yeah.
I mean, you did some really groundbreaking stuff, Komo.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And it goes on to say, another project that you were instrumental in was the improvement of the athletic facilities, including 3 new gymnasiums, 3 football fields, 1 practice field, and 2 440-yard tracks.
That's true.
And the new basketball gymnasium, which is known as the McElrath Gymnasium, was being completed your final
Yeah,
year.
that was Mac.
Yeah. So as you were looking back on that, I mean, that's a lot of accomplishments. What do you think?
Say that again.
What do you think? I mean, this is quite a legacy of yours.
I like to be. I'd like to know who did it. I sure appreciate it. I'll do something for him.
Oh, yeah, Jim Riggs.
Jim Riggs wrote this biography of you.
Oh,
Do you remember Jim?
Oh, sure.
He wrote it,
Yeah.
and it's on your website at the Hall of Fame. So I'll give you a copy of it when you leave here today.
Well, I
Coach,
appreciate
because it
it.
really tells your whole life.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Jim Riggs.
Jim Riggs. Yeah.
And one of the things,
Wow.
well, Wall was right. Let me just go on one step further. That you helped organize the Special Olympics in 1956, which is still going on today.
Yeah. Which we call it. Russ Dietrich.
Russ.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Russ did a lot that wasn't appreciated. And he's still doing it. He's still doing it.
Amen. Yep. And then, something I was the beneficiary of growing up was the Jamestown JC's Midget Football League was created in 1956. And I grew up on the south side of town, you know, with Joe Albano and all that crew. And I was the beneficiary of early football because of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm happy that I found out something that I never thought I would know how they really felt, because there were some people that did it just for the hell of it, you know. Yeah, I appreciate what you guys are doing there.
Something else, Greg, that Komo started is he was one of the founding members of this Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
Ross, Dietrich, Komo, Tony Miliato.
Yes.
You guys are the ones that
Yes.
got this place
Yes,
started.
Yes, yes. Yes, that's true.
And you were the president of this Hall of Fame
Very-
at one time.
Very good. Yes. I didn't realize that at that time. What do you do now when you get to be an old man?
Well, you're a spry old man, I'm telling you.
Spy old man.
Spry old man. So
Now, you're going to put that in the paper, you said?
No, no.
this actually, here's what's going to happen. We're going to do some editing, but this is all videotape here, Komo. And we're going to put this up on YouTube so your children and your grandchildren can see this.
Oh. Well. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
It's been great, Coach. Thanks for your time. And we really, really appreciate it. Thank you.